Yo, what's up, YouTube? I'm checking in right now because I'm currently facing a dilemma that a lot of people who are actively an outpatient, who suffer from the disease we call addiction, particularly to opioids, they're facing the same challenge that I'm facing. And I'm going to tell you what it is. So I'm currently on Suboxone. I went a year doing great. I know it's been a long time since we talked. I'll try to catch you up later. Went a year doing great. Ended up relapsing 2 weeks ago. Went on a 4-day bender. Ended up relapsing last week. Another 4-day bender. Tuesday was my last dose of illicit substances. And today's the first day I took Suboxone. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty careful when it comes to using buprenorphine in conjunction or, following any stint of illicit opiate use. Reason being, in my height of my addiction, when my tolerance reaches peak, I waited 75 hours, over 3 days, following my last dose before I took a dose of Suboxone. 30 minutes later, I'm in the worst pain of my life. Anyone who's been through precipitated withdrawal to that degree knows what I'm talking about. I didn't know about the lipophilic nature. I didn't know anything about the analogs at that point. There was really no research that was done. At that time, it was relatively new. There was only like one doctor in my clinic that when I told her, she didn't believe me. The other ones looked at me like, really? You waited 75 hours? Are you sure? I'm like, well, yeah. I'm a fucking heroin. I'm pretty sure when it comes to my dope, yeah, I know where it's at. Yeah. So, nobody wants to go through it. Nobody wants to experience that. Not even my worst enemy. Well, I want to put through that. It is, I'll explain that at a later date. It's the worst pain. So, here's what I'm here to talk about today. I'm faced with a dilemma. I'm not the greatest proponent of Suboxone. If anything, I'm an opponent. Okay, in my opinion, 80% of people, 90% of people, including myself, that are on Suboxone for long-term maintenance, these OUD programs or OTP, whatever they call them, it's not necessary. Harm reduction should be used as the final resort. I'm talking about, the elderly, people with decades, right? People, certain pregnant women. Like, there are exceptions, but most of us, no. It's a fucking cycle, bro. It's the greatest, Suboxone is the greatest illusionist in the whole drug game. And that's what I mean by it. Like, it's a veil that's put up. When you take Suboxone, like if you're a dope addict, if you're like me, you take Suboxone, you don't get high. There's no euphoria. Okay, it's comparable to having a cup of coffee in the morning. Okay, if I'm comparing to a cup of coffee, it's not euphoric. Like right now I don't feel great. I mean, I still got a little bit of that in my system. I'm kicking it out today, so feeling better. But even the days to come, Suboxone, it's Suboxone. So why do I call it the illusionist? Well, here's the thing. So if you're doing it the right way and you're a prototype, like you're the greatest of patients, the model. You're changing all these behaviors. You're becoming a better person. You're masking. You're putting aside these character defects, right? Because the mental obsession is no longer there. But here's the thing. You're taking the substance, and even though the substance is not producing the high, you're not getting euphoria, you're still physically dependent on it. You just don't realize it. And this is why Suboxone is such a bitch. What ends up happening, you go to try to stop taking Suboxone and you taper down. Once you get to like 0.5 milligrams, it is exceedingly difficult to go lower, and you're still going to experience withdrawal. Your withdrawal is going to be maybe a 7 or an 8 out of 10 as opposed to a 10 out of 10 if you're using Fetty or heroin, right? But here's the thing. Fetty, 4 or 5 days, you're through the worst of it, then you're on downhill. 10 to 14 days, that's it. Suboxone, you might not even withdraw for 4 or 5 days. And then you're looking at 30 of that constant. You're gonna hit the plateau at like 2 weeks. Whereas if you're doing the other stuff, you're done. In 2 weeks, it's over. Physical allergy, it's gone. It's just a mental obsession. So why is this so Suboxone? Why it sucks? It's like, here's the thing. Come off of it mentally. You've evolved, right? So you think. I mean, well, you have. You made better decisions. Mentally, you're this. In your head, you've achieved some sort of sobriety or normalcy, but your body is physically dependent on this substance. And there's this certain, I'm not going to call it like a comfortability, but this relatability. When you're in active use, you're using day in and day out. You understand what that pain is like. You know what it is. You're in life. You know withdrawals are part of it. You know what it is. It's part of the thing. It's part of the game. But when you go 2 or 3 years, and you believe because physically, you're, like I said, there's no euphoria. So you believe that you're on the way to abstinence, and then you're kicked back into a body that all we remembers is what it felt like to be committed to that one thing, right? That opiate, that one thing. That's why it's so difficult, because it's that tug of war. And what do you think is going to win out 89% of the time? The same people that have that feeling. The same people that have that dependency. 89%, we relapse. That's what we do. Especially when you're hitting someone in the blue there. Someone who hasn't even thought about getting high or withdrawing for so long, having this normalcy. Then you take away that drug, and because the half-life is so exceedingly long, look where they're at. It's so difficult to get off of Suboxone. That's the purpose of this video. Listen, it's a lifesaver, but I'm gonna keep you all updated. If I keep relapsing, listen, you know what the easy way out? You know what the easiest way out is, and that's the only way I know how, because I'm a drug addict. And no doctor would recommend. I don't think, unless you go like, well, no. Go out there, illicit drug use, 4 weeks. It's enough time to get the bupe out of your system. Go to a rehab. Give yourself 5-6 days, maybe, if you can. This is really the easiest way. Give yourself 5 days. You're going to be going through it. Then take a Suboxone, day 5, day 6, day 7. Quit. That's the easiest way. But again, the easy way isn't the right way most of the time. Because where we end up, we're right back at it. I hate this disease, man. And nowadays, this shit is out there. Why do I keep getting back on MAT? Why am I back in MAT? If I know it's going to lead to this relapse. To find a way to get off Suboxone, why would I want to do that? And the answer is, because harm reduction is the only choice. I work to abstain, and I go to a program. I work a 4-month program. I'm abstinent. I get out. I do anything. I could be dead. You can't fuck with this shit anymore, man. That's the only reason I'm going back. I wish I was stronger. Listen, This ain't even self-pity. I don't have much tolerance for that. This is the truth. I'm not the bravest person. I don't know if I'm a coward, but I'm not brave. And I'm not the strongest person either. And truth of the matter is, I lie to myself much more easily and readily than I do to anyone else. I've always been able to manipulate myself. And working on that, working on telling your mind repeatedly that you're full of shit. You're lying to me, and I know it. And I know it. At this point, there's enough wisdom up here. It has nothing to do with anything other than time and experience. It has nothing to do with intellect. Some of the smartest people I know are addicts. Some of the dumbest people. But I'm telling you, some of the most resourceful, some of the strongest, all that. But if you don't have that mentality, that resilience, that determination, to tell yourself day in, day out, you're full of shit. And I know it. That's what it takes. And I've done it a couple times, but I've never been able to get to a year. I'll be back on here in a little bit, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. Thanks.